Hello guys, hope you well. Please don't forget to like our live. You're welcome. Let's go here. Alright guys, you're welcome. How you're doing? What's happening? Thank you so much for coming through. Right, don't forget to like our live and make sure that you share. Hi Garika, I hope you're well. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. I'm doing well, thanks. Hi, how are you doing? Hi Livingston. Good to see you all, y'all, watching from. It's a family meeting, definitely. Yes, thank you. It's definitely a family meeting so that we can give each other updates of what's going on. And it's good to see you guys. I'm super excited. All right, so a lot is happening as we speak, but you and me needs to go through some stuff here and just reminding each other as well as also updating one another. Interesting. So welcome guys, welcome to our podcast Room Be Uncensored. It's our podcast because it's your podcast and my podcast. I'm super excited. We are back in the game. Are y'all excited? Because I am super excited. All right, so Emerson Mnangagwa's legitimacy has become a problem, not only in Zimbabwe, not to the citizens, but also in SADC. And we're going to be looking at some of the stuff that has been going down today and see how we can also be able to share one or two things and some of other people's opinions that I've come across today. Man, I want to start by this tweet that was sent out by Neva Masura. And let me just tell you why this tweet is so important. He said, under normal circumstances, Vice President would have congratulated his boss, but no, end of X. So he's referring to VP Chiwenga that till now he hasn't sent a congratulations to ED. Now the question is why? Why he hasn't sent a congratulations? You guys, do you remember about a week or 2 weeks ago that there was a voice note circulating where people were alluding that there was a scuffle between ED allegedly and Chiwenga, where Chiwenga accused ED that you want to give your son my position. And they also remember last week as well that there was a bombshell that was dropped in the court when they were pursuing the trial between Mary Chiwenga and VP, that Mary Chiwenga had planned with ED to eliminate VP. So I'm just kind of trying to see what's going on between these stories. We're looking at VP that hasn't said congratulations to his boss, ED, and also just the atmosphere around these two is quite, it's interesting. You really can't understand what's going on because guys, you remember they used to be very close, you know, moving around, and we've been watching lately. We haven't seen the very same vibe as it used to be. I do remember looking at VP last time when they had you remember when they were celebrating independence, that VP wasn't really looking that happy. You know, he was very serious next to his boss serious, he also serious. I don't know, maybe that was kind of part and parcel of the protocol, but the way I looked at it, it was really, it could not look well. So I guess this is why Neva Masura had to tweet today and say this something must be wrong, because till now VP hasn't said anything about Mr. Mnangagwa's declaration. So because people said we are no longer call it an election, we actually call it a declaration. They decided to just do as they please. ZEC decided to actually abort our constitutional processes so that they can actually promote ED. So for me, I feel like there's so much trouble in paradise and ZANU-PF in general, because from what I've heard, you have seen quite a number of ZANU-PF of ED. And also, if you guys saw one of the video that I did, actually, that was Ziambi, when he was alluding that if you are planning to impeach ED, which is within the parameters of ZANU-PF, forget it, because ZANU-PF is a system that you cannot break. Otherwise, you're the one that will be broken. Do you recall? So definitely there must be a lot of things that are going on within ZANU-PF where there are factions. Some people are deciding to be independent candidates rather than be under the banner of ED. And I also remember that Alina tweeted that some of you lost your constituencies because you were just under ED. You could have just run independently. You were going to do extremely well. Very interesting to watch. Now, when I read a tweet that was sent out by Fadza Mayere, so he said, our constitution boldly states that the legislative authority derives from the people, not any other state institution. No result that excludes the people can be legitimate. The region cannot see what we have said for years. We need new leaders. We all know that Zimbabweans has been crying foul that we need you guys, SADC, to come through and see what's happening. And for the past years, SADC has always authenticated even a flawed election, because they never really get to the deep, the root cause of our challenges in Zimbabwe. But I guess this time is very different, because we can see how SADC has been very merciful, on behalf of citizens. I was also checking out to see what's going on with other counterparts. As for now, we actually have Cyril Ramaphosa. We have been attacked heavily by many people. Why did he send the congratulations to ED? Especially one of his colleague, Musima Imane, attacked him heavily. And we have got a number of people who said it was definitely lack of morale for him to wish ED a congratulations, considering that this election is so much questionable, especially within the parameters of SADC. Now, Max Lyon, is like one of the men that I borrow his minds all the time. So he said there were 800,000 voters registered in Harare, and only 127,000 had voted when polls closed. Some polling stations closed early, some did not open at all. Hundreds of thousands of voters did not vote. Lenmo Jongwe 2002 election. So in 2002, Lenmo Jongwe, the late Lenmo Jongwe, may his soul rest in peace, who was alleged that there was a foul play within ZANU-PF that eliminated Lenmo Jongwe, allegedly. That there was the very same strategy in 2002. In the midst of such kind of flawed election, 2002, the opposition won the election. That's where Ibo Mandazal is alleging that somebody was paid $10 million US. No, sorry, not US dollars, dollars. There was Zimbabwean dollar. By the way, remember, our Zimbabwean dollar was much stronger than the US dollar. So this intelligence were given $10 million just for them to rig elections on behalf of ZANU-PF. That can see how desperate ZANU-PF is as far as power is concerned. Very interesting. They don't care about leadership. They only care about the power, not leadership. Because power and leadership are not the same. Power and leadership are not the same. You know what I mean? So he went on to say the same happened in 2023 election. So that's Max Lyon. How can they bring fresh ideas when they rely on rigging? Their hope and strength is in cheating instead of providing a vision of the country. The country is governed by people who don't deserve to be in power. They are managing billions of resources and see no need to develop the country. The biggest challenge in the country is the government. They disqualified themselves from governing. There's no way the current government should be given another 5 years. They should be in opposition. They need time in opposition to think about their policies. I completely agree. Something must be wrong. Definitely, we all know that there's something wrong within the parameters of ZANU-PF. For me, I feel like if you have to cheat your way to leadership, you're not a leader. Because leadership is about calling. You all know that you may not even have education, but you can just be called to be a leader. You can be called to be a servant. But as far as this is concerned, I personally think that ZANU-PF, within their parameters, they do not have callings to be leaders. That's why they always in use of force, thuggery behavior, as well as rigging and cheating, because they don't have the qualities to lead people. So, do I agree with Max Lane? 150%. I agree with him that these people are not supposed to be in leadership. I think we need to separate political mantra and leadership. These two are not the same. You know, it's possible to be a politician and not being a leader, but you can't be a leader. But you cannot be a leader. It's possible to be a leader, and be a politician, but you can't be a politician. You can be a politician not being a leader. You know, those two are different, because leadership is really saying, people follow me, trust my steps, follow me. But with ZANU-PF is it's us and our people. There's never been, are you guys okay? What do you think of policies? What about the tender that we just approved? What do you guys think? We'll take this deal to parliament. What is the parliament saying? No, most of the deals are only being approved by certain individuals that nobody knows. And they give those tenders to their bodies, like what they did in the past election, that the tender for the ballot box was given to Wikino Shivayo, the very same guy that looted money that was supposed to cater for electricity in ZIM. He was again trusted with another deal. And I also quote that Themba Mliswa also alleged that Wajigajena, when he got a tender, Wajigajena, remember, to actually work with the farmers, he allegedly looted $5 million for the farmers, poor farmers. And when he was arrested, that time when he slept in prison, he said, if they let me be in prison, I'm happy to divulge some of the people that I worked with. What does that tell you? It's actually a syndicate of thugs that are masquerading as politicians, but in between they know very well that they're not there for politics. This is why they'll fight tooth and nail to keep themselves in the space. But there seems to be a wind of change. You can't resist it, because ZANU-PF is in trouble, left, right, and center. Within Zimbabwe, the force is real. When you check SADC, the force is real. Their neighbors or brothers, the entire world, the force is real. People are saying it is enough. The system has cost us nothing but quite a lot. It costed us generations, destinies, 2 generations of pain, 2 generations of poverty that needs to be eliminated now or never. So you and me, we have to work together to make sure that we stand for what is right, to redeem or to be able to rescue our nation. Now, we're going to move to Dr. Walter Muzembe. So you tweeted, said, the lowest and most embarrassing segment of my ministerial career was the period between June 27, 2008 and January 2009, when we were caretaker ministers. After the disputed elections, we were not legitimate, and government staff and public attitude was hostile and welcoming. You see, when you're cheating your way into a space, there's no connection with the people. The energy is different because your destiny is interlocking. You see, you know, our destinies are intertwined. You are here right now listening to me because our destinies are intertwined. So it's already before the beginning of time that God said, today, at this time, you are going to be listening to me. There's something that I'm going to drop for you today that you're going to listen, because before the beginning of time, it was already written. But if it's not the will of God, no matter how much you push, nothing works, because God didn't want ZANU-PF to be in the space. So in 2002, the rigged elections, but God was saying, it's enough. It's time for you to go. In 2008, as per Dr. Walter Muzembe, you know, he was part of ZANU-PF. He said they struggled to actually have, you know, a relationship with the masses, because people were denying their leadership. They were not voted into the space, but they wiggled themselves. They forced themselves to be in leadership that they knew they were not the legitimate winner. The opposition party was supposed to be the leader in Zimbabwe. Very sad and interesting to actually hear them saying this kind of things now today on social media. Yeah, I'm like, kudos to social media. Shout out to men and women that God gave the wisdom to create social media, because today We are getting to know a lot of things that were hidden. We are all exposed to quite a number of ills. I'm talking of deep ills. If there was no social media, what would it be today? I don't know. Because for me, I only started following up elections for politics in Zimbabwe last year. And since last year to date, oh my word, I've learned quite a lot about a lot of things that are not in order in the nation. And it's sad, but what can we say? This is where we are today. We are saying it is enough. As citizens, we are coming together and we are doing everything in our power to take back the power that we deserve and the nation that we know it belongs to our forefathers, every Zimbabwean. Like I always say, ZANU-PF do not have title deeds to Zimbabwe. We Zimbabweans, we deserve to have a chunk of that country. Now, Advocate Mahere Fadzai, my favorite woman, she said African leaders must solve African problems. Accountability and respect for African citizens demand this. This means that when SADC speaks on matters of electoral credibility, justice, constitutionalism, their counsel must be collectively heeded. I completely agree. That is time. You can see, check what's happening in the West. Coups are happening in the West because young people are saying it is enough. I also want to refer to the president of Burkina Faso, 35-year-old president, who is speaking boldly, who says it is enough. Our people are dying, pursuing greener pastures in America. But when we know that we can call them to our palaces and have lunch or dinner with them, you have seen Kagame playing soccer with these people, Kagame driving dignitaries to his house. But we have boards who are spending money on aeroplanes, jets, day in, day out. I want to ask you a question. Recently, ZANU-PF spent 320 million to buy private jets. No, not private, those helicopters. Guys, did you ever see when those helicopters, in use? Except the pictures that we saw, and I assume that those pictures, it was literally staged because, first of all, the accident happened in Bindura. And in Bindura, the police were there, the doctors were there, the nurses were there. Everything was scripted so that people think that the aeroplanes, actually the helicopters are functioning. And this is why I keep on saying, and we know I'm telling the truth, that people are pushing Mr. MNANGAGWA the way they did with Mugabe because they want to loot with impunity when no one is checking on them. Because time and age is also dealing with our president. And it's part of life. We all one day going to be mature, right? But we also need to be honest with one another that when it's not time or when time is up, it's important to say, let go. You know what I mean? Even parents too, when you have your children, there'll come a time when say, if I've got my son, you say, my son, come closer to me. I'm going to walk you through my journey because I want you to take care of my legacy well, to represent me well. This is what I'm expecting from ZANU-PF within the ZANU-PF corridors. There are young people who are doing extremely well, who may be even qualified to be in leadership. Why aren't they trust them? Why aren't they nurture them? Why aren't they mold them? I guess I agree with Mutambara when he was against the legacy of Mugabe. He said Mugabe was stuck with power and he failed to actually mold young people or to nurture or young people. Today, he could be sitting with such a great legacy, but at the end of the day, we look at him as a failure because he failed to let go of leadership. But at the same time, I think there were reasons why he kept on holding on to the space. Because if you look right now, if you check right now, check what's going on right now in Zimbabwe. Do you see anyone, especially these people that we have, the likes of Chris Muchangwa, do you think they can be leaders of the country? The arrogance, the attitude, they lack qualities of leadership. I guess that's why Mugabe struggled to find a successor. I think that's why he struggled. When people are dishonest, it's very hard to trust them. And do you remember when Mutambara said that he once went to the meeting to Mugabe's house? To Mugabe's office. And when he gets by the door, at that time, ED and VP, they were actually the security services at that time. And they struggled to give him access and to push them to find his way to Mugabe's office. And then Mugabe said, oh, these guys are too zealous and they think you are here to take their place. So they are very insecure. Espe Mutambara's words, so I quote, what is, a lot of nonsense. To me, when you're insecure, it's actually a sign that you're not supposed to be in the place. I am not insecure to do what God has called me to do because I know my place, I know my purpose, and I don't have to compete with anyone. And I guess all of us, we are in that position, right, where we don't have to compete because we know what God has called us to do. There's no need for competition when you know your calling. When you pursue your purpose, there is no need for competition. All right, so shout out, y'all. Shout out to Ostalos, y'all. I'm sending a hello shout out to Ostalos. Listen, y'all. I don't know if you guys watched the presser today. Did you guys watch the presser? Because if you watched the CCC presser, you should send some love and energy to Ostalos. Because, y'all, the man was on fire. And I was telling my family, I said, I guess when he went to meet Obama, do you remember? When he met Obama, as a matter of fact, I heard that he was literally studying under the Obama Foundation. From what I heard, I don't know if that's true or not. When he met Obama, I guess there was some transfer of energy. I'm a person who believes in the power of impartation, that you need to be next to people that are carrying the anointing that you may need. So if you want to be a politician, be closer to successful politicians. So if you want to be a speaker, be closer to speakers. So if you want to be anything, you want to be a doctor, make sure you're following the most successful doctors in order for you to draw energy from them. It's called impartation. So I guess when you met with Obama, something happened there because the man was definitely on fire today. Oh my God, he bombarded that presser. And we all know that the councillors and the members of parliament for CCC have let go of their positions because everyone is vying for a rerun. We are saying, let's restart. Election was nothing but a mess. So we have to restart. It's time. Yeah. ZANU-PF, are you ready? Because Zimbabweans are ready. Yeah, I've been literally having a field day on Twitter. And I've seen quite a number of people complaining on Twitter that they did not even get an opportunity to vote properly. They were literally forced to vote for people that they never wanted to vote for. You saw the tables for FAS. And by the way, while we are talking about FAS, I was flabbergasted when I heard the leadership for ZEC say that they didn't know about FAS. You know, when did you hear about FAS? I remember I did a video about FAS when I was saying, who is FAS? And Neva Masonase was quite very gracious. And he sent me a tweet that had all the breakdowns of that FAS was literally Emerson Mnangagwa's armchairs. They are waiting to fight tooth and nail to keep him in position. And that's exactly what we saw. But this is what I'm saying. Poorly, they played it very dirty. That was the worst game they could ever play. Whoever come up with the idea of FAS, that person really had a goal to bring down Emerson Mnangagwa. Because that's exactly what he did. The shame, the embarrassment. There was no love in the understanding of business and career and politics and saving the people. It was really about, I'm here to take this thing, whether you like it or not, and you're going to do nothing to stop me. Whoever planned that thing for FAS, the person had a goal to bring down President Emerson Mnangagwa. All right, so they had a terrible presser, and the presser really is about we are going to let go of our councils and parliament because we want to vie for a rerun. But the good news about the rerun is they're pursuing, I think, the observing, not only observing, but to SADC and AU to officiate the election, which I says I agree with. I don't think I'll ever again in my lifetime trust ZEC. Never in my lifetime trust ZEC. As a matter of fact, I really loved Priscilla. I love Priscilla, and she's eloquent. I think she's an amazing woman. But after this chaos, I lost my respect for her. I am a firm believer that when you have your principles in check, irregardless of the pressure that you face, you need to stand for what you believe in and say, this is who I am, and I'm not going to change who I am to suit any other narrative. So as far as I am concerned, I question the integrity, I question the ethics, and I question the morale and the humanity that is in Priscilla Chigumba. I question it. I love her as a sister, but I completely question what she stands for. Because as far as I'm concerned, considering that we have elders who slept at polling stations, You saw it. We have young people who are walking kilometers selling the wind of change. You saw how people worked so hard. Young people were saving money on Twitter. Men, young and old, people sacrificed their last dollar to make sure that we have change in Zimbabwe. Not because they were there for politics, no. As a matter of fact, CCC is not even a political party. I've always said it's a citizen movement. I'm not a politician, but I'm very passionate because I am so sick and tired of what I'm seeing in Zimbabwe. I am so sick and tired. So that's the reason why I rose up and I'm like, no, I need to actually speak up. I'm going to speak up. And this is why I love one of the statements that was spoken by Martin Luther King. He said, if this is the kind of life that you want to say, a life of oppression, then I don't want it. If I have to keep quiet on things that matter, then I don't like it. If I have to eat in my house when my neighbor is hungry, then I don't want that food. This is the kind of culture and the community that we need to build as a people of Zimbabwe, of saying, hey, if I can't love my brother, if I can't love my sister, if I can't grow my friend, I don't want it. If I'm not happy for my cousin, happy for my brother, happy for my family to succeed, then I don't want to be part of it. Because my goal is when we win together, then we destroy the enemy. When we win together, then poverty becomes a thing of the past. But if I have to say, no, it must be only me, so that when I drive my expensive car and go home, everyone should worship me. I hate it and I hate it with passion. But you see it. Look at what happens with Passion Java. They like it when they stand on a rooftop of a car. So everyone is looking at them. They're like gods. That's a poverty mentality. That's a diabolical mentality. It's a devilish mentality. It's not a godly mentality. A lover of people is when you're sharing the little that you have with others. That's where fulfillment comes. So I still stand that we need to be a community that understand the power of love and the power of unity. All right, moving right along. Dr. Walter Muzembe said, let's give diplomacy a chance. Zimbabwe and scared heritage. So when he's talking about diplomacy, he's really referring to a SADC delegates that have been sent to Zimbabwe so they can be able to bring some sanity. I'm going to repeat, I'm not a champion for GNU because we did it before. It never worked. I don't believe that you can repeat the same strategy over and over and still expect a different result. I don't believe in that. And I completely think that as much as we can have SADC diplomacy, we don't know what they're going to discuss. That's why we're saying, let's give them a chance. Let's hear them out. Some people think that, no, they are there to sanitize the flawed election. I don't think so. When you look at the SADC report, ZANU-PF can't escape. As a matter of fact, ZANU-PF is burning north, south, east, west. I saw Mr. Mutangwa when he had an interview. Lord, help me. Why are they keep on sending this man to do interviews? Mr. Mutangwa, I pray you sit in your house because you and your wife, you haven't done us so good at all. You have really embarrassed Zimbabweans. But he's trying so hard, and he was having an interview looking in the sky instead of looking in the eyes of the journalists. You could not. You know why? Shame. But anyway, you can't be so evil and expect it to reap good. That's how it works. There are so many people that you have embarrassed before, you humiliated. It's your season to reap what you sow. You sow a seed of hatred. You're waiting for a harvest. And it's going to come in multiplication. This is why I keep on saying to every Zimbabwean, hopefully your seeds are right. Because when you're sowing good seeds, there is an opportunity of reaping good. All right? I'm going to read what the letter says from SADC. Oh, by the way, did you realize that Java has a tendency of saying whatever ED does? Munomita say ED. You know, now that they've rigged the elections, what are you going to do about it? Because they're planning to have inauguration. What are you going to do about it? Now I'm coming after them. And I'm saying now that we are looking at what Mumba is saying, when you look at the SADC's report, Sagamsheta say, back at you. Sagamsheta say, now that you are face to face with the mess that you created, the fuzz mess, like I said, whoever advised ED to employ fuzz strategy, that person don't love ED at all. Don't love ED at all. So I'm going to read a letter from SADC. So it says, the Southern African Development Community SADC Secretariat presents its compliments to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe, and has the honor to acknowledge a receipt of the letter note verbal reference number C/10 dated 21st of August 2023, inviting the SADC panel of elders, POE, to the harmonized elections in the Republic of Zimbabwe. In accordance with the recommendations of the SADC Electoral Advisory Council pre-election assessment mission conducted from 12th to 19th April 2023, and submit decisions of 17 August 2023. Consequently, the POE will conduct a mission to the Republic of Zimbabwe between 28th of August and the 1st of September 2023. In line with submitted directives of 17th August 2023, the mission will be led by HE Dr. Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, former President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and POE Chairperson, who will be accompanied by Honorable Charles Tiboni, a member of POE, and Ambassador Mupeyo Mapashe Polia, member of Mediation Reference Group. The mission will be supported by the following officials: Dr. Kondwani Chirambo, Misa Kitenge Tunda, and Mr. Cholefelo Karadishe. I swear to God, I can't read some of these languages. I pray to God, and there's a word that I spoke right now. I'm sorry, y'all, because it's already Shona, but it seems like it's a Tanzanian name. And then the above delegation will be further supported by the following officials who are already covering the ongoing CEOM in Harare, Republic of Zimbabwe: Professor Kula and Mr. Terry Rose, Mr. Elijah Munyuki, and Mrs. Komoto Monare. The Secretariat would like to kindly request that the POE chairperson and his delegation be accorded the necessary VIP and other appropriate courtesies during their mission in Zimbabwe. Kindly find here too the flight initiatives and confirmed accommodation for the incoming delegation for the attention of the respective Zimbabwean authority. In thanking the Minister of the Foreign Affairs and International Trade of the Republic of Zimbabwe for the advances to be undertaken relative to the above request, the SADC Secretariat avails itself of the opportunity to renew to it the assurances of its highest consideration. So people are skeptical about the orders that are coming through because they assume that they're going to sanitize this flawed election, which I say no. SADC is fed up. Yo, Zimbabwe is acting like a dysfunctional marriage. You know those family members where you are also tired. You know their marriages always have drama. You know, you've called the elders, you've called the church, tried to cancel them, they can't. You have tried everything. Even therapists failed to assist them. You know why? Until they go back to basics, until they deal with the issues from the grassroots, where the two parties, which is the husband and the wife, can say, what can we do to resolve? What is wrong with me as Rumbi? And the husband says, what is wrong with me as Peter or John or Tendai? You know, that's the only way they're going to have solutions. You know, sometimes all we need to do is to really go back to the drawing board. I'm happy to introduce you to ZANU-PF post-1980, the ZANU-PF that came through in excited and juvenile about the leadership. And today we're watching how Zimbabwe was pre-independence. Zimbabwe, Harare was clean, spectacular. The green was grass, buildings were spectacular. Everything was to the point. There was discipline. I know some people may say, oh, but remember the wise people were nasty. I get that. But we cannot take away the fact that the streets, the country's economy was functioning. Remember, Smith was under sanctions, but still he was running those streets very professionally. Even though he was very mean towards our people, which we can never forget. We can never disregard the fact that Harare was clean. Streets were clean. Sosberi Blawai was top class. But here we are today. What a mess that our people have created. So I'm introducing you to ZANU-PF. As soon as they got their independence, they were in the cars that they were supposed to use as per Gideon Gono, but they decided to go and buy themselves brand new cars. Are you shocked, Yao, that this political party is like Magaroyo Wanemota? This political party love cars. It does. It always purchases cars. If they have to lure someone into a deal, they buy cars. You've seen what they just did. They bought Holy Tane and Kiki Bed as brand new cars. So all of a sudden, Holy Tane is parking a latest Range Rover. And you also go and look at Kiki Bed as she's parking a Mercedes-Benz. So they've sold their destiny and the souls for cars. Are you surprised? Because I'm not. Because this is exactly what happened as soon as they got power from Smith. There were cars that Smith was using. But they said, we want brand new cars. They went on a trip to buy expensive cars. Not only were they having official cars, but they still buy cars for themselves. These are the kind of people that we are dealing with. They definitely have no clue of how to do with economics. That's one thing that I'm seeing. They don't know what's called priority. The hospitals are dilapidating, but these brothers are always going on a shopping spree to buy cars and helicopters that nobody is using. Yeah, do you really think that they spent 320 million to buy helicopters? No. It was just a channel for looting. Whoever approved that deal knows well that the goal was to loot. Because as we speak, is there anyone here who have a family member who are actually airlifted to the hospital? Please, you're more than welcome to confirm and tell us and said we got help. We saw a helicopter flew into our home and then they took the sick patient to a hospital where there's no medication. Which one do you prioritize? Getting medication or a helicopter? Which one? Yeah, very sad. So now that Dr. Mumba have sent a preliminary report that is not in favor of ZANU-PF, Sakamchaita say. Sakamchaita say, now that the whole world, letters are coming in left, right, and center. If we go to Twitter, Facebook, social media platforms, letters are coming left, right, and center. People are saying, we definitely stand against your flawed election. Mushaita saying, it's like I'm ready to say, all right? I'm ready to say. So I'm going to go quickly right now to Twitter. Let's check our trending stories, please. And guys, please tell me where you're watching us from. Be gracious and share where are you watching us from. So somebody is saying the letter is coming after 2 months, the original. Actually, not the final report is coming after 2 months. But I think the good news as we speak is that CCC is not accepting this election. They are saying we want a rerun. So CCC is saying, we are on a mission to go for a rerun, which I agree with them 150%. Who is going to believe in this election? Because some people thought that CCC will only pursue presidential elections and they're going to disregard the council or disregard the parliamentarians. No, they're not. They are definitely disregarding all of them. Councils, parliaments, as well as presidential. Now, I heard that there is going to be inauguration this coming Saturday. And how is that going to work? That's a joker for Edie. A joker, boom. So CCC just drop a joker. So come on. This game is getting interesting. It's a chase I told you before. You play, we play. But now the interesting part about CCC is that this is a citizen movement, which means I am part of it and you are part of it. We are saying it is enough. We want a legitimate election that will bring us to the foundation. We need to restart having a country where people respect our constitution, where people understand that the voice of citizens matter, not dictators. No, in 2023, we cannot be under dictatorship. We have the power to denounce, or we have the power to disregard any man or woman who try to capitalize on our destinies. We have the power to say no. No, we refuse to be manipulated. We refuse to be abused. Yo, just tell me where you're watching us from, because I'm super excited. I can't wait to send out some shout out to everyone. Thank you, Eunice. You're welcome. Thank you for coming through. I'm super excited. I want to see some of your comments so that I can go through them and we can start talking right now, because I want to hear your thoughts on the topics that I cover today. When you look at VP would not send a congratulatory message to Edie, the boss, online, because I mean, these are dignitaries. They have to do it online when everybody's watching. And also when you look at Mumba, who is actually trending, when people are saying, what's wrong with him? No, I can tell you that people were upset with HH. And I remember I did a video on it. HH was sent by God. First of all, don't underestimate the power of prayer. I'm going to be honest. Don't underestimate the power of prayer, because HH was sent by God. God works in mysterious ways. That's how he does. He uses the people that you don't even think of. You may expect someone to come who may be too loud. HH is Zane, but he's a wise man. There's a difference. You can be very noisy and still be a miserable person. So somebody said all animals are equal, but some animals are better. Reason well said up. 100%. Prayers up, y'all. Prayers up. Prayers up, y'all. Prayers up for Zimbabwe. While I'm checking what's trending right now, y'all. You're working from Russia. Hi, how you doing? It's good to see you guys. Good to see you. I'm so excited. It's good to see you, really. Thank you guys for coming through. It's good to see you. Very exciting as I'm checking now. And trust me, guys, we need to send some love to Osalos, guys. Because I can see the instigator said, one thing about this young man, Gift Osalos, is he can stand for himself. He has embarrassed some PFA members who belong to retirement homes before, and he will continue. I'm such a stand for this young future president. Bear in mind, these guys went through a lot. These guys, one thing ZANU-PF doesn't know is the more you push people, they're going to turn to lions. Even me, I wasn't really that, political, crazy. But after the way I saw ZANU-PF treating our people, I was like, no way. I think it's time for me to stand up and say something. You know what I mean? So all of us, we didn't really want to do or say anything, but we were pushed to say something. Zimbabweans are pushed to speak even when they do not want to speak. So ZANU-PF need to understand that they instigate these behaviors of so many people. We didn't want to speak, but they pushed us to speak. You're welcome. Hey guys, thank you so much, Chris Jao. Ruru, what do you say? Brick. It's a game. Don't forget to like the live. Please like the live. We need to get to about 100 likes. I'm asking you to like the live, please, so that we can push the algorithm. I don't think rerun will change the status. Maybe GNU might. No, we don't want GNU at all. Let me tell you why I do not want GNU. It's because GNU on its own is literally mixing darkness and light. We must not bow to ZANU-PF's work. And I'm going to explain to you why. It's because they cannot get away with everything. They lost an election. It's a principle. They must go. It does not matter how you look. If you lost an election or if you lost a competition, you must go. They cannot get away with things all the time. Since 2002, these guys have been losing elections and they still get away with it. This time, they can't cross. We cannot. They cannot get away with stuff all the time. ZANU-PF needs to go. A GNU is a no, a no. I agree with you, Tina. GNU is definitely a no. We want new blood, fresh ideas. We cannot mix darkness and light. We have corrupt politicians in ZANU-PF. We can't mix them. Maybe in CCC as well. That's why we are saying no to corruption. Any corrupt individual is definitely not allowed to be anywhere near of government offices. We cannot, because we know where it is going. So definitely we're going to run and check on our trends. We need to make sure that Zimbabweans, we become honest with one another. We do not need GNU at all. GNU is definitely a no and a no and a no. So we have Jonathan Moore. He's trending. You know why he's trending? He's always attacking Chamisa. So people fight him to the thick and narrow. He said, Mister, you better work with all of us so that you can come back home. Since you're in exile, you need to come back home. Zimbabwe is your home. This issue of staying in your father-in-law's place is not a good thing. Come back home. So let's work together to let go of the dictatorship so that we can enjoy Zimbabwe. Together we can. Zimbabwe for everyone. And Zimbabwe is trending, sitting at 41K. You know why? Because it's always Zimbabwe. Until we decide to do what's right, we're always going to be trending. We also look at Hichilema. Hichilema is actually, right now, is trending. Definitely, he's a hero because he's fine. Let me tell you, like I said to you, Hichilema is a wise man. He doesn't talk too much, but man, he's pulling the strings wisely. ZANU-PF is in trouble. That man is going to officiate a rerun. And I'll tell you why. Because Hichilema is not going to believe in hook and crooks and cut corners. The time of cutting corners is gone, guys. We need to mature as Zimbabweans. We need to mature. Let's mature like other countries to do what's right. If you want Zimbabwe to be a better country, we are going to sacrifice arrogance, sacrifice ignorance, and also sacrifice violence, and really think about the future of our country and our mental sanity. Very important. Legacy that we need to leave in this world. We must remember that we owe our children everything. We owe the future everything. And we can't afford for children to be sitting with this problem. If we do not deal with ZANU-PF right now, our children are going to be sitting with the very same problem. And we can't afford to do that. So ZANU-PF should stop this nonsense and accept defeat. Agreed, Patrick. They lost election. They must go. Notwithstanding how they look. Remember the strategies of ZANU-PF were exactly how Lungu was. Lungu had all these pastors for Lungu, teachers for Lungu, nurses for Lungu. What ED was doing, but he was annihilated by Hichilema, and he walked away. He congratulated Hichilema, and that was it. First of all, we were denied of diaspora vote, and we are contributing in almost I don't know how many percentage, but we are contributing a huge margin in Zimbabwe. You always hear Ma'am Changwa bragging that, we are building. No, the diaspora is building houses. People are starving to build houses that they won't even stay. Think that it breaks my heart every time I think about it, that there are so many people who are in the diaspora today who are working tirelessly building houses in Zimbabwe that they will never stay. I'm telling the truth. It is said people are building houses they will never stay. Why? Because we think it's about material things. No, it's about family. It's about unity. It's about oneness. It's about loving your people. Most people left countries going back to their parents who were dead. I'm one of them. My mom passed away. I'm one of them. When I lost my mom, yes, I was earlier in my early 20s. But, what can we say? These are the things that we face every time. And they don't understand that we need our parents. We want to be closer to our parents. We want to be closer to our families. We want to move. When you're growing up, you can go kwa sekuru, we want that life. So there's something about us as a family, as unity, as a people. We cannot keep roaming around and moving from country to country and then building houses that we will never stay. Because most people are going to face the same challenge. Now that the whole world is looking at them and say, brothers, you're going to have to change. You can scream the way you want, but we want to see change in Zimbabwe. We want you to respect the will of the people. Very interesting. So, they said breaking news, like I spoke to you guys before. They said Zimbabwe opposition officially give to ceasefire. It was a press conference that last week general election was totally flawed, and the country must now disband ZEC and prepare for a fresh elections supervised by SADC and the international community. Agreed. We all agreeing that we need a rerun, correct? You agree with me that we need a better Zimbabwe. We're going to work together. Let's have a rerun. The person that wins this election must be respected. And I want to look at this tweet that has been sent by Bikoten San, Kuda Musasiwa. He said, I have been reading a lot of opinions with an open mind today to really understand everyone's position and see what can convince me to shift my mindset, digging deep through the insults and hurt feelings, egos. You know, Twitter is a bully. If you're not strong on Twitter, please, if you're not that strong personality, don't go to Twitter. Don't forget, guys, to like the live. Don't forget. Because then YouTube will push the algorithm for us. And guys, don't forget, we also spoke that on Friday, I'm going to be cooking. So please come around. We'll start at exactly 6 p.m. I'm going to be cooking my favorite meal. And I know men loves this. So we're going to become a zondo at 6 p.m. Because I told you I'm also a chef. So please come through. Let's have some fun. And we're going to cook together. It's going to be funny. Bring your alcohol for those that drinks. I'll be drinking my lemon tea or my lemon water while we rock. For those that take your alcohol, please come. Let's just dine, man. Life is to be enjoyed, not endured. We need to just hang around together. If you haven't gone to the club, for those that does clubbing, I don't. Come around and just dance and dine with me. All right, so we didn't have a free and fair election, 100%. The courts are a waste of time, considering the obvious reasons. So a challenge, they would be doing the same thing twice, expecting a different result. Like I mentioned before, I used to believe that V11s would force a rerun, but after considering others' arguments, I concede that this is an utopic and unrealistic in this situation. Chamisa is the right to challenge these results, not just because of election days, but because of the situation prior. MPs should absolutely take their seats, which were won under very difficult circumstances, and the packs they come with to save the people who voted for them, even though it was flawed. If I was a leader, I wouldn't know the right way to move at the moment. There now needs to be a lot of wisdom. Nobody loves Zimbabwe more than anyone else. Even evil people love Zimbabwe for whatever reason, be it soft gain, weak systems, etc. We all need to run the temperature down. We'll figure this thing out. Yeah, what do you think about, so in a nutshell, it's talking about the issue of councils that won. These are CCC councils and also members of parliament. Do you think that they have to disband their positions and waiting for a rerun? Or you think they need to be sworn by ED and still expect a rerun? Then that is, to me, it's you are conflicted. It's one thing or the other. I think if we truly want to restart as a people of Zimbabwe, I would say they need to disband those positions and let's go for a rerun. Because if we go for a rerun, we want to legitimize, not only legitimize, but also creating a culture of truth and a culture of authenticity. If we accept the councils as well as the members of parliament, what we are saying is whatever use or whatever flawed strategies that ZANU-PF employed were right. And we are not willing to be double standard. So it's one thing or the other. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to say, I don't like this man. He have lied, but I'm still going to marry him even if I don't like him. But I know I may stop the marriage and still do the right thing. But I'm saying, but you know, let me just marry for the sake of, no, we don't do that. This guys, where we are right now is between life and death. We're dealing with people's lives here. We are dealing with a principle that we need to change. We are dealing with a culture that we have nursed over the years that is toxic, that have ruined homes, destroy families, destroy young people today who are swamped with drug addiction. So we can't afford to compromise. It's one thing or the other. If we truly want to restart Zimbabwe, we need to not change our policies, change everything, which includes if you get a position via flawed strategies, then you need to let go of that position and let's restart. That's my tag. I don't know what you guys think, you know, because you're getting a job by hook and crook. You know what I mean? No. If it's meant to be, if you're called to be a member of parliament and serve the people in that area, you're always going to serve them. No one is going to stop it. So why cutting corners? Why? So I said the court, yeah, 100%, I agree with you. The court is very tricky. Guys, the court is predictable. You know how the courts are. It's because people are alleging that the courts are captured. I don't know how true is that. I don't have no relative of mine that is a judge in ZIM. So I've never sat down with them and if they're captured or not. But we have seen over the years, we have seen a lot of, dishonesty, judgments. And by the way, I've done some work at the prisons in Zimbabwe with some guys, which I cannot divulge much because there's no need for me to say a lot. But one thing for sure, especially I remember this old man that we were trying to assist was in prison because they had a family drama. And the families, he was an old man because they were jealous of him. Because they decided to lie that this old man had raped someone. But you know what the trick was? This man had a catheter. He was an old man with a catheter. So people asking, how on earth did he remove a catheter that the hospital puts for him? This is an old man and a rape. But then the truth was, it was a lie. And there are so many people in Zimbabwe who are in prison today. So many people. Thank you very much. Oh, blessing, you are so kind. Blessing, you are so kind. Blessing, you are so kind. Thank you. I appreciate you. So many people today in Zimbabwe are in prison and they're innocent. It's known because they just didn't have money to pay for attorneys. So we cannot. The truth of the matter is the courts in Zimbabwe, they need to be revamped. Something is wrong with our systems. Innocent people will go to prison, even though they're innocent, because there are some political hands who are interfering in the work that people are doing. We can't forget that, and we can never take that for granted. We must consider it. All right. So I don't know what you guys think, but I think they need to disregard those positions so that we can restart. When we restart, we know no one ever again will ever disrespect our constitution. Because if we accept one election, or take a member of parliament, or take council, but I'm questioning that the election is illegitimate, or was illegitimate. How on earth can it be? You are double standard. You are 1 minute you are there, on the other end you are there. Which one are you standing for, right or wrong? I stand with right, which means I can let go of a position. If that position has to come via hook and crook, no. If you want to teach ED and ZANU-PF, then you better have to let go of those positions. Then they would respect you that you're principled. But if you have to accept them, you and them, you're in the same boat. The same way that you accepted the $40,000, it said a lot about your principles. I know some people said because you wanted to use it for campaigning. I respected that. But at the end of it all, we need to be principled community that will say, I will stand with my truth. Even if I'm in a position where I have to compromise, I'm going to stand with my truth. That's wisdom, and that's how we win. Moving right along, the casting down of grades and the lifting up of the lowly. I don't know, this is a ZANU-PF thing. I don't know what they mean, but I'm sure they're under pressure because a lot is happening. Now, Musmaimane, you know him, the South African, he used to be ex-president for DA. He said, Fikile Mbalula has been reckless and has undermined SADC with his online antics. We cannot say we want to help solve the crisis in Ukraine and ignore the crisis next to 100%. South Africa is busy pursuing the crisis in Ukraine. You remember when the delegates in Africa went to meet up with the president for Ukraine and bring both of them to negotiate Ukraine and Russia. And embarrassingly, remember when the Ukraine journalists said they failed to bring peace between Ukraine and Russia. And one of the reasons was that they were focusing on what they were getting from Russia, which they thought were going to be affected because of the war, rather than focus on people that were dying. It's the principle that is lacking in our leaders. Africa needs to revamp. We are being an embarrassment to the world because of the people that we choose to be in leadership. We are completely flawed. We are still stuck in the past. We're focusing on material things. That's why most of our presidents in Africa focuses on collecting. They're always on trip to loot resources because at the back of their minds, they still have that colonial mentality that we may not have tomorrow. And we need to do away with that, understanding that this world is not a home. We came with nothing, we're going to live with nothing. But what we can do is to eat and be there with our people and make sure that everyone is safe and everyone is sound, everyone is happy. So Fikile Mbalula, stop. Because Fikile is not stopping, he's keeping on cheering for ZANU-PF and congratulating them that they've won an election, that democracy is prevailing. He is a problem. And by the way, people are saying that he's owing man. I can see Tina saying that Fikile Mbalula is campaigning to be given a gold mine. Like I said to you, they all focus on money, not the people. So they don't care about the Zimbabweans that are dying, crossing the river, Limpopo, or Zimbabwe that are being killed because of xenophobia. They don't care. They just focus on what am I getting from Zimbabwe so that he can win. You know, Fikile Mbalula has got a watch that he bought almost 2.5 million rands. He has a watch, that a Rolex for 2.5 million. And people asking question that Mr. Mbalula, how much are you earning per month? Allegedly. How much are you earning per month? Because you have a watch that's cost such much. And how much is your salary? Then that's when we start talking about lifestyle audit. Right. I had someone tell me yesterday that there are people from Zimbabwe as we speak, slave queens that are traveling to as far as America, all over, with 50,000 US dollars in their pocket for shopping. As we speak, from the loots that are going down in Zimbabwe, the slave queens are being given money to go for shopping overseas. And neighbors haven't eaten. Young people are suffering. They are not going to school. This is the community that we have built. And then you can wake up and say, no, but you know what? I worked so hard. Where did you work? Can we do lifestyle audit? Where's your job? How much are you earning? Where are you working? Spanish economy in Zimbabwe that is depleting. Which company are you working for? And how much is your salary? Right. But you know, it's all about looting, right? That has to stop. Very soon. People are still saying, oh, Salus is a god. Ah, he did it, Shem. Oh, Salus did it. I'm so proud of him. So, you know, Ziv is very naughty. You know, Ziv, please don't forget to like the live. We said we're going to get into 100, right? Please like the live. I'm asking you to do so for me, right? So Zivu said, rerun ikaitika pasina vaya vaya. Ah, pano jigwamun akati ma. Ayo, Zivu is very naughty. You know, Zivu is very naughty. Honorable Zivu, ex-honorable. So in a nutshell is people want a rerun, but provided that ZEC has no hand on it. We don't want no ZEC closer to nowhere. No FAS, no ZEC, no nobody. But we want external people to officiate the election. So he's saying people are going to be moored big time. You know, ZANU-PF knows they have no chance. This is why they believe in hook and crook. But hey, dudes, we are not playing games here. This time we mean business. We mean business. And Solomon Aruzi said, you want fresh elections without anyone officially registering their grievance over the unfairness of the elections? How does that work? There's no basis for fresh elections if there is no one challenging the sham elections. A court application is a part of the process regardless of the outcome. So I think in a nutshell is that, you know, Chamisa, they have actually filed today in the Constitutional Court, filing challenging the illegitimacy of the entire election, which I completely agree with Aruzi, because you can't just cry for a flawed election without challenging the flawed, because the court has to see the reason why we are crying for. We want a rerun. We're not crying. We want a rerun. Let that be known to the judiciary. Before we talk about you wearing your hats, you know, we are our brothers and our sisters, our mothers and our fathers. We want a legitimate election that will make Zimbabwe a better country. So please, that must be understood, that we are not coming here to say we are seeking for funny things. We said we want a Zimbabwe that functions. We want to rewrite our story. We want to have a better culture. We need to make sure that we build our country on good foundations, because this country, since the inception of ZANU-PF, it really has been pain after pain, pain after pain. And 2 generations have suffered the ills and the pain from the struggle. And we're asking you to give us a chance to rewrite our story and protect the legacy of our country. So I agree with him. We need to pursue a court application so at least people know that we mean business. We are not playing games. We really mean business. All right. So guys, I said, tell me where you're watching us from. So some people said we should start around 8. No, 7. They said 7. So 7 or 8. So that at least I'm able to accommodate everyone, so that we don't go as far as late. We need to be within the parameters of time in terms of accommodating those that are working earlier. How do we, do we have possibility for a rerun? 150%. Is there 150%? I agree. Watching from Tembisa. Hi, George. I hope you're doing great. How is Tembisa? Yeah, we're doing great. What's happening? How are you guys feeling about this past election? I know most people were hurt. Bedbridge, Emmanuel, are you doing great? What's happening? How's Bedbridge? I'm so glad you guys are actually coming through, and it means a lot, really, that you hang out with me. It means a lot. I'm so blessed having you guys around me. I'm so blessed. It means a lot. I appreciate you deeply. I really do appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Watching from Mount Pleasant. Hey, Farai, how is Mount Pleasant? You actually within the circles of Fazema area. Oh no, by the way, they disbanded their positions, so now we have to redo it. All right, so this is honorable. That is Temba Mliswa. He's no longer. Okay now. Back to honorable, because I mean, if people disbanded their position, it means that it's back to honorable. So he said when Zek announced that Richard Trangira had won, I congratulated him, Makafara. When Zek announced that ED won, I congratulated him, Makupopota. Why are the reactions to each of these different? Atidi hypocrisy. Definitely, we are saying no because ED. The way we ran our elections on presidential, even on those parliamentary, they were not right. So definitely we had a flawed election. Let's restart the election. That's how we're going to do it. It's not negotiable. So, and also, Kuda said, Job is in jail without bail. Let's not forget that. Jacob in jail for trumped up charges. Let's not forget. Rallies banned. It's for sure, it's known. Are state media biased? Who doesn't know? We've seen how ZBC used to report Triple C. They will Zoom only 4 people because they didn't want to show that the rally was packed, it was full. You know, they didn't want it to be seen. So how can you say that the election was free and fair? And then part exit polls outside polling stations against Electoral Act again. And then we had the result announced without Triple C signature. Again, it means the election was illegitimate. So people can't say anything. The election wasn't free and fair, and we have to restart this election. We have High watching from Milton Keynes. Yes, definitely. They also need a rerun. The rerun is coming, guys. You mustn't want. And by the way, I forgot to actually tell you that Hubert Angel has been fired from his ambassador position that he recently, assigned to because of fraud. You know, the issue of allegedly fraud of the gold smuggling in Zambia. You know, Zambia, he was caught, and his other bodies that he's doing gold smuggling with. You saw when journalist Simba, what's his name? Is Simba? Hey, yes. Was reporting that there has been a lot of gold smuggling from ZIM to Zambia, and they were caught. So he has been relieved from his position as an ambassador. I clap hands, especially when I saw the video where he was telling people that I should I can't say those words. Do you remember? That man does not deserve to be anywhere near leadership. And when you also consider the gold mafia, I don't think that he does not even to be anywhere near leadership. Because one thing I do not like is these guys have always been using their relationship or their closeness to the ruling party to actually loot and expoliate people. This is so wrong. Okay. Okay, sorry. I'm coming there. When are you doing this story in? I can't wait. All right, no, we're gonna go through it. Don't worry about that. We'll do it. Don't worry. Relax. Nematambudziko ekurowa. Please, what do you mean? Nematambudziko ekurowa or ekurowa. Are you trying to talk about elections? Sisorombi, if we forget to rescue Wiwa and others in prison, while it's the elders from Sadaka in ZIM, we are selfish. No. But these things are they are being actually on the top priority. No, guys, people are working tirelessly to make sure that we restart Zimbabwe. When we say we want to restart, it means that we need to do away with everything, which includes matanks, acid, arku allergy okuti achiri mu Zimbabwe, Shosona Smith, muri kurerwa vanhu. I've always been saying this kind of stuff must be destroyed, because if we want to detach ourselves from our past, if we claim that Smith caused us pain and we are still holding on to his stuff, then we are not ready to change. We're not ready to change. Then for me, I agree with you. We need to definitely do away with a lot of stuff that are not in order. So I was talking about Hubert Angel explore. Oh, no way. Okay, so I personally do not like the way Hubert Angel abuses the church, especially lying, using the church, and what he's doing vile. I don't agree with that. I don't hate him as a brother. I do love him. I've learned to say something is wrong and still love a person. So that alone, I would like people to understand that I have no hatred for him. I truly love him. I respect him as a brother, but I don't agree with some of the things that he does. I definitely using the Church of Jesus Christ to lie, to manipulate, to exploit. I don't agree with it. And to do some of the things like the worst that he does. And people keep on defending and supporting, which is wrong. Gold smuggling, allegedly, wrong. You have seen it, gold mafia, and that is completely wrong, and it has to stop. Right. So he has been relieved from his position. Also, Chief Charumbira was relieved from his position. I'm telling you, SADC is not playing no games, because Zimbabwe has always been exalting criminals. I don't know why. I don't know why criminals always find special seats in Zimbabwe. I do not know why. You know, we do love him, but we don't like him. In the Bible says, exactly. That's why I'm saying I'm a child of God. I'm a firm believer. I love Jesus Christ. I'm a friend of God. It's my daddy. I love him deeply. So, and I'm commanded, and it's mandatory for me to love everyone. But when someone is doing something wrong, I'm able to pinpoint wrong, but still come back and say, I love you still. You're my brother. I care for you, and I'm here for you. But I don't agree with 1, 2, 3, 4 things. So that's me. That's me. Okay, so Joseph Kalimbe from Zambia, he reported that after firing Charumbira's stooge, the new acting PAP president has immediately appointed a director of Beru, Emmanuel Kwaku Afedo from Ghana. Kwaku Afedo previously worked at PAP up to 2017 as senior internal auditor. He brings financial good governance experience into PAP. So these two are relieved from their position, which I says, amen. Because Charumbira, I don't like what he stands for, especially with the allegations that he wanted to sleep with his niece. Again, disgusting. So I don't think those kind of people deserve to be in position. Him and Hubert Angel have been fired. So good news. Great news. Music to my ears. Moving right along. People are saying, listen to this and tell me your conclusion. Let's talk in the comment section. They talk about Cyril Ramaphosa. So let's take a listen to what he says. As President Mugabe deputy, Emerson's contribution was limited to chairing cabinet meetings when Mugabe visited the toilet when he rested his eyes. Huh? All right, this is Ali reporting. I mean, yeah, he's sometimes, yeah, it's interesting. Then Nick Mangwana, guys, you know, I normally avoid Nick Mangwana's tweets. I'm gonna be honest with you, I avoid Nick Mangwana for a reason. Because Nick Mangwana, whenever he speaks, it's like a sword to my heart. This man has no respect for humankind, has no respect for Zimbabweans. I do not know why. Roro, thank you for being such an example of leadership. Oh, thank you so much. You are so kind. This being, you're so gracious. Thank you. I love that. So this Nick Mangwana, I said we were very encouraged by the environment that allowed for the elections to go ahead in peaceful manner. We were impressed by the professionalism, efficiency, and commitment of the polling agents. They were really prepared for the elections and conducted the elections almost without flaws. Commonwealth observers. Oh, that's absolutely nonsense. I don't know where they bought this for. You see what ZANU-PF is doing? Now they are buying people to come in to report lies. We stand by our words. The election was flawed. We have seen, we have evidence, left, right, and center. There are videos circulating where people were being forced. I have blocked Nick Mangwana. Yeah, people block him. You know why I don't block? I normally avoid because I just want to see some of the things that, but if I see that whatever is posting is not really aligning with what I believe in, I always block. I don't follow him that much. I have people that I do follow closely for a reason, because I learn a lot from them. Or I kind of pick up some words because they're very good at, you know, at sending out tweets. and also very good in terms of reasoning. So I follow them and really closely. I'm a young man from Vic Falls. Late life been not involved with this political drama because I always told myself to wait after elections. So let's see. I always told myself to wait for the 2020 elections, but it seems like nothing changes. Clinton, relax. There's going to be a way out. So it's not the end of the world. There's definitely going to be a way out. So you must not worry. Okay, relax. And we also have, we want you out of jail. You can't be detained for nothing. Let's continue to talk about him every time. I agree with you. I really want my brothers to be out of prison. They deserve to be outside. They deserve to be home with their family members. I don't appreciate seeing people suffer for doing good. They literally didn't do nothing wrong. I mean, we all know they did not do anything wrong. So they deserve to be home with their families. So I completely agree with you, my brother. And then we miss Alex Magasa for his humility and excellent analysis, but God is in control. He is in heaven now. And we know one day we'll meet him. This place is not our home, y'all. We're going to go home to be with the Father. But he's an incredible person. Magaisa, may his soul rest in eternal peace. It is true. The GNU is coming. We don't want that. Yeah, is it true? Okay. I don't know, but I personally do not agree with GNU. I don't want GNU at all. I do not want GNU. I think that us as Zimbabweans, we need to get to a point where we start, I don't like the way we are running our country, that we always need external interference to resolve our issues. It shows that we are not maturing, because this behavior has been going on for decades. And we also need to get to a point where we do not allow ZANU-PF to get away with murder. Okay, they get away with a lot of ills. In 2002, the rigged elections. 2008, the rigged elections. 2013, the rigged election. 2018, the rigged election. We cannot have a country that functions using people that are cheaters. Cheaters can't be in leadership. The fact that people didn't vote for you, it means you're not the right person for the job. It means you're not the right person for the job. So for me, I feel like it's time now for these people to go. It's time for them to go. If you actually see where our country is today, it's actually it's a proof enough to see that ZANU-PF are not good at leadership. That's why they use force all the time. They use force because they know they are not good at leadership. And it doesn't mean that they are bad people. There's a difference. They are our brothers. We love them as our brothers, but we need to understand that some of the things that they do are not good, and they have to stop. We need to show each other love, but we cannot carry on have a country that's dysfunctional and then we keep on laughing and encouraging it. We don't. We need to restart. And what is the latest there? We are waiting. The latest is that CCC have disbanded their positions and they're vying for a rerun. And we're all praying for a rerun. We are allergic to GNU. I am too, very much so. No GNU, guys. We all agree there's no GNU. Yo, don't say that. Don't say that. I'm scared. That's why we need to restart. We need to restart for that reason, because we know that people are depressed. They are depressed. We understand that. A big no to GNU, a big no to neutralize CCC. Darkness and light do not mix. I agree. And I always been saying, ZANU-PF knows that I can't. The corruption and the ills that's going down with ZANU-PF can never be mixed. We want to have new people, new leadership. We are good at doing the job. We are not here to please people here. We are here to put the right people that were voted by the masses. If you haven't been voted by the masses, you're not the right person to do the job, and that must be respected. We do not have to negotiate. Where we are now, there's no time for negotiation. We want the right people who are voted by the people to actually be able to serve. If you're not voted by the people, it means that you're not the right candidate, and that should be respected. And then, Miss Carol, better to destroy ZANU-PF from within, because defeating it with a ballot may not be as easy, because ZANU-PF is a system. I agree with you, it is a system. That's why we need external officers to assist us with election. With ZEC, they failed the test of time. We have been patient with ZEC. This was like the last the last blow, really, for Zimbabweans. I'm sorry, I don't want nothing to do with ZEC. I want nothing to do with ZEC. I love them, but I don't want nothing to do with them, especially from a professional point of view. They are so dishonesty, they are lying. Did you see one of the ZEC official denying that they knew about Faz? He said they have no clue who Faz is. Rumbi, you look 30, yet you're 10 years older than that. Yes, I'm 40 years old, yes. I'm 40 years old. You know, I can tell you, we do not want, we definitely do not want. No, they lie a lot. They lie a lot. How on earth could you just come in the middle of the night, announce an election without explaining nothing? There was no, we are giving you numbers for this constituency. No, straight to the numbers and declare a person to be a president and leave. And expect us to say, you saw it is, ma'am. No, we don't. We were children. We're like, nah. Now we place a joker. Let's go back to a rerun and external supervision, not local supervision. And we need to restart Zimbabwe, whether they like it or not. And ZANU-PF should stop this nonsense and accept defeat. That was my brother there. You do not sanctify thugs, dark works by dining with them. Once you sign on their dark deals, your name is soiled. They're lost. Why do we treat them like babies? They must walk out. Agreed. Do you know what I've been saying? I've been telling someone, I said, we started with Mugabe, where we struggled with him, to fight with him all the time. And then Mugabe passed on. We had a lot of older people in ZANU-PF who also passed on. And today, we're still stuck with the very same political party. The same challenges for decades, 2 generations, 43 years, and later we're still struggling. Which means that if we are not smart, our children are going to be fighting the very same system because they're surrogates. If you check right now, when you look at a person like Farai, their spokesperson, look at people like Mugwadi, when they speak, there's that arrogance, entitlement spirit, disrespect for people. Are you telling me that they can be good leaders tomorrow? No. They are part and parcel of a system that is ruthless, that is toxic, a system that always live in denial. It doesn't accept that we are wrong and we can correct it. It doesn't believe in correcting things. It believes in it is what it is, you take it or leave it. We cannot accept those people to be in leadership. It is what it is. As they are saying, they cannot reform. We are also saying we do not want you anymore. So it's tit-tat, we are not going to we're not backtracking. We are stuck to our guns. We believe that ZANU-PF needs to go. Their system has caused us pain. We want to restart the country by employing the right principles that can make us be a better people. It's that simple. Agnes Machila says, Sagavacheta say, yes, good. What are they going to do? They're going to do absolutely nothing. So the GNU is like, when I mudam, yot why we are mvura tishande to the crocodile. It's a crocodile. So I agree with you. It's not going to work. What will you guys do if ZANU ignores all this? Wow. They're not going to ignore it. Now they're under pressure. The economy is screaming. The people are screaming. Confidence with the people. No. It's going to be harder for them. SADC, our neighbors are complaining. The Brits, they want to join the SADC in there. The election that is flooding. The reports are all over. No, nobody's trusting Zimbabwe. Who's going to come and invest in that country? Because Russia and China are just collecting. They're not investing there. They're just collecting. There's a difference. Investors are people who create employment for you. These ones coming with their own people, Chinese, and loot your resources is not creating employment. There's a difference. So they're under pressure. Heavy pressure, embarrassment as well. It's sad. Check them out when they're doing interviews. It's sad. It's very sad. You really feel for them. It is really sad. Yes, you're watching from Springs. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming through. For my guy on YouTube saying he's waiting for the direction from CCC on a way forward, him is ready for war because these ZANU-PF things, people are scared of them. Okay, so the war thing is we're not there yet. We're not there yet, guys. We are not there yet. Okay, we're not there. No war at all. Let's follow these processes, and we'll see what happens later. But for now, we are not there yet. Please, Okay, so we don't want war. And then ZANU is controlling ZEC. ZANU, ZEC are controlling the cities. Enough is enough. Agreed. It's a system that we need to do away with. We need to restart as a country. We need a better Zimbabwe. Clearly, ZANU does not really care about anyone. As long as they can still loot, the only way to force them out is by the gun. I don't think so. In 2023, let's leave the gun. Let's use wisdom, because wisdom is profitable to direct. If you know, yeah, I don't want to talk about the gun. I think I'm focusing on, let's follow these processes that we are employing right now. This way they're taking us, then we'll see as we get there. But as for now, we're going to follow these processes. And then it's sun control. Okay, so MPs should not take those seats. It's simply legitimized on PF. 100%, I agree with you. No, they've already disbanded those seats, so we pretty much on the right track. CCC number V11 S akakwana. That's why vakunonoka kwenda court. That's not true. The V11s are there. They've confirmed. You cannot assume they don't have. They confirmed they do have their V11s. So let's respect them. Give them the time. They're going to the court. They've taken pictures. I think I saw literally like I saw a lot of documents. So I'm sure they know what they're doing. Give them a chance. Let's not rule them out. Give them a chance. Give us a chance, because we are also citizens. We want to see a better Zimbabwe. So we are behind them. We are in support of what they're doing. Every right steps must be taken positive. Agreed. Agreed. Farai Kondo said that is not true. It's called weighing options. The court route has a predictable end. I agree. But I think where there's someone who puts a comment down here that you can't just, oh no, that was Twitter. You can't just go into, say, the election is flawed before you go through the courts. You have to go through the court. Let the court knows that the election is flawed and we are going to pursue a rerun. And we have conditions of what we expect during the rerun. So this is exactly what Triple C is doing. So let's give them a chance and see where this is going. And this was saying that is say must sit through tite rerun anyway. Okay, so we're gonna go. That is on Friday when we do the cooking. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I can't wait, y'all. Let's fight, guys. We mean war and delete people like MNANGAGWA in society. Comrades. We don't want to be like him, because the moment you kill, then you tend to be a murderer. Then you're not afraid to kill again. This is why ZANU-PF most of the times they're not afraid, because that has been happening in their camps. Killing a person, human life is important, guys. It is so special. We must not forget that. There are ways we can deal with our challenges, but killing should not be a priority, right? Should not be a priority. We miss Swam. I understand. I'm so sorry to hear that. Many people really miss Swam. I said, it's on board. You understand the situation. This time, no Zek, please rerun. No Zek. We agree. No Zek. Big up to Buru Bratemba Melissa for being. Temba has been really be a gentleman. He congratulated Chankrai. Incredible. Really, I applaud him for that. He showed maturity, and Temba is a reasonable guy. He's very loud, he's a mouthful, but he's an educated man. He's very smart and intelligent. That's why he was smart enough to say, hey, you won, let it go. And you know what? See you later. We're still family. I'm late for the show. I think GNU and going to cause our own goals. All right, so going to the courts is just a preliminary, but Triple C is pursuing a rerun. GNU, I don't want to hear about GNU. And I've heard quite a number of people saying they don't want to hear about GNU as well. I really don't want to hear about GNU, because we've tried it before. It never worked, and it will never work now. Honesty, MP for people of Norton, and respect for his leaders. Great. Yes, 100%. We're hostages, and there's only one way out. It's not SADC or courts or ZEC. We know how all that works. Let's be patient. Let's give them a chance and see where this is going. And then John said, do we have possibility for a rerun? 100% is there. Let's be positive and keep our heads up high. The rerun is coming. We deserve a new start, Zimbabweans. And the only way we can restart is by a GNU. Okay, so Then rerun condition should be inclusion of diaspora vote. Aish, my angel, diaspora vote has always been an issue, and I really wanted diaspora vote because we contribute a lot in Zimbabwe. We deserve a vote. If they can say diaspora vote, AD knows that then you won't even smell. Diaspora vote is a killer, y'all. We all gonna vote for ZANU-PF to go. But I know ZANU-PF has its supporters, his surrogates all over the world who are also supporting because they're benefiting. They're the ones that are opening accounts where the money is being starved in foreign lands. So definitely they will vote for their stomach. And then we are really hurt about this MNANGAGWA thing, Romy. I understand, George, many people are. But like I said, we remain positive, resolute, and with expectations of seeing something better. I know that Zimbabwe is going to be a great country. We must all be positive, and we must work together. Together we can, and together we are majority. And hi, it's Florence. I'm watching from Pretoria. I'm a South African, and I personally feel that all this nonsense that ZANU-PF is doing to the people of Zimbabwe needs to come to an end, seriously. Agreed, Florence, I agree with you. It has to come to an end. People are tired, and thank you so much for the support. Thank you for sending so much love and light. We all want to see Zimbabwe as a better country. So thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. We appreciate that. And watching from Zirust, and also hi, watching from Milton. Okay, that is the reason why Temba was voted out. He is good as an MP, but double dicks ZANU-PF and CCC wants Jesse Kutungia. He's not. I think he's. I've realized that he's connected to ZANU-PF because he seems like some of them are his relative. I don't know if I'm right. So, no matter how your relatives behave, they're your people still. You know what I mean? You are forced to love them. So I guess that's where he is. He's conflicted. He has to love his people, regardless of how bad they may look, how bad they may sound. Still his people. You know what I mean? So I understand and I respect him for that. When are you doing this story in full? I can't wait. Okay, so I don't know which story is this. I think it should be for was it so story for Hubert Angel? And yeah, no, definitely I've done Church Mafia before. If you go to on my YouTube, you'll see a video written Church Mafia, where I actually said quite a lot of things, with evidence of what was going down with Hubert Angel and some of his church folks. There's quite a number of fake prophets in 2023. They're masquerading themselves as men of God, but they're actually crooks and thugs. Okay, so Sirumbi, if we forget to rescue Wiwa and others from prison, we won't forget. It's definitely our priority. Okay. We love him, but we don't like him. We love the babes 100%. Like I said, we love people, but we not like their actions. But the Bible commands us to love. And if we know that love never fails. And of leadership. Oh, thank you, Rumbi, for such a great example of leadership. Bless you. I appreciate that. It means a lot. So then Tina said, between 4 to 7 million Zimbos are in diaspora. Majority of that vote wants change. Let's advocate for the diaspora vote. I think we need to push on it, especially on Twitter. I realize that when you speak on Twitter, it has volume. We need to start maybe championing diaspora vote on Twitter and see. You never know. We may have our chance of really voting and restart. We need a new start in ZIM. And then the politics landfill has chanced, and it's high time as Zimbabweans we take advantage of the wave. Let's be part of the change, not only in Zimbabwe, but for the rest of Africa. Agreed. Because what I've realized is that there is a wave of change in Africa in general, where young people said, we have done with this old man. Remember what happened in Sri Lanka? Was it Sri Lanka? But Sri Lanka is, no. Sorry, my bad. But I'm saying, it's time. If you check what's going on in the West, it can show you what young people are done with this old man. Because old people are destroying our destinies. They can't have enough. They've been eating, collecting, but they will never have enough. And I think it's time for us to say it is enough. Young people, let's rise up, hold each other's hands, and do away with every old person who is greedy and really employ the right talents and gifts. People who have a heart to build our continent, but who not those that are pursuing jobs. We want people who are there to save our people. So I agree with you. Africa and Africa for Africans. Hi, Ruby. I'm a young man. Okay, the Victoria Force, when we answer you, and I say to you, relax. Things are going to be okay, my brother. Quinton, it's going to be okay. Clinton, it's going to be cool. Relax. We want we out of jail, all of us. We do. Figle Balula is becoming is becoming a mouthful, and he has always been hurting our people. Whenever he speaks, it gets to my heart heavily. And I'm like, God, please have mercy on us. I don't deserve to hear this man. This man is hurting me. He's really hurting quite a number of our people, and we don't deserve it. And then say that I miss warm if we refuse to leave the offerings or the horses bank accounts. Okay, so I wanna read this one quickly. Okay, so they are saying watching from Sims. Okay, it seems like GNU. So watching from Spring, South Africa, Africa. Yeah, definitely agree with you, brother. Seems like GNU is coming, guys. Gambakwe's poker results on the same day when ZEC was supposed to announce. But you need to remember that Gambakwe is actually a mouthpiece for ZANU-PF. He is ZANU-PF's propaganda. So you see what they were doing here. Let me tell you what they were doing. They were not smart. So bear in mind the results that were read by Priscilla. They were actually on the streets before she even read them. I remember seeing them when we were laughing about those results. We were saying, no man, people are crazy. You know, they were saying they've got this attitude of disrespecting people. It was sending a chilling message to the people. So when Gambango was speaking about it, he knew because it was given. He is their mouthpiece. So don't take everything that he says serious. When you talk about GNU, it's because they're desperate for a GNU. So they are using him, and you think that he's talking because he knows what he's talking on. ZANU-PF is desperate for a GNU because they can see that they're under pressure. They don't know how they can escape. They're in trouble. But if they can vying for a GNU, they're going to use that to bring back the power to themselves like they did in 2008. So don't buy in what Gambakwe is saying. He's a propagandist for ZANU-PF. So know that well. And I think someone actually said that he's a ZANU-PF project, which is very true. I remember many people told me and said, no, don't listen to this guy. He lies a lot because ZANU-PF sends him to speak on their behalf. I'm not a ZANU-PF person. Neither do I. Triple C don't send me to speak about Triple C. I just speak what I see and what I witness and what I think and what I wish Zimbabwe can be. So no one can buy me. I'm too expensive to be bought. And also my purpose can't be shrinked by anybody. I am a person who does not believe in being manipulated by anybody. So man can't buy me. My blood is bought already. Jesus Christ bought it. So no man can afford to buy my blood. So definitely no. So seems like a GNU is coming. Okay, so definitely not a rerun for what did CCC win or not. Do they have V11s? We have the V11s, my brother. What guarantee do we have that they won't do the same thing? I now begin to worry about the wisdom in CCC. Now relax, Budi. We are on the people bring heads together. Remember, Triple C, as you're seeing it, it's bigger than what you see. There are people who are advising Chamisa. There are people who are sitting down and come up with strategies. Zimbabweans in general are fed up. It's not a political issue. It's a Zimbabwean problem. So because there's a Zimbabwean problem, there are men and women of great minds who are sitting and really talk about things that are important. So remember, Chamisa is not just waking up and decide that I'm going to do it. No, people are sitting and cracking heads and say, this is the move that we're going to take. So guys, trust the process. Really, what you can do is praying for them. Praying for them and make sure that God is giving them wisdom to do the right things. Because what we want is we want a positive outcome. We want a Zimbabwe that functions for everyone. A Zimbabwe that you can be comfortable. A money that works. Money that works. We want an economy that functions. We want a country where there's respect for human rights. Where we can speak freely without being intimidated. This is the country that we want. Where there are platforms for us to fulfill purpose. That's all we want. So let's support them. Let's pray for them. Let's believe in them. Let's send love and light. Because if we keep on speaking negative, we are literally destroying ourselves. Let's learn to be a community that believe in each other. Even when we make mistakes and things does not work, we still believe that we can correct our mistakes and still win. Let's persevere. Let's be patient. Let's follow the process. Wisdom is profitable to direct, but at the end of the day, we will go through. Tell you what, guys, because that's what Someone once said there are no witches in Zimbabwe, because if there were witches in Zimbabwe, we could have get rid of a lot of people. But I don't know why they always bewitching their family members. They should bewitch the right people that are not supposed to be in our society, especially thugs and robbers, murderers. They should be the one that they need to bewitch. But who knows what? We don't know. If they refuse to leave, they can freeze all their assets, bank accounts around the world, and give them conditions to exit Zimbabwe to unfreeze. Agreed. That's a good point there, Tina. Tina, that's a powerful point. We need to have conditions for these people to let go. They have to let go. They have to let go. And I said, what a mess. Watching from Harare. You're welcome. We miss home. Many people do. And trust me, very soon you'll be home. Very soon you'll be home. Mutoli Swena, what do you do as a citizen of ZIM? Why don't you also join people who do good things for people and stop complaining? Yeah, let's work together. Complaining doesn't help. The only thing that we can do is to work together, to believe in each other, so at least at the end of it all, we can conquer. All right, guys, I've had such a good time with you. It's 10 p.m. my end. So yeah. So guys, it has been really a funny time. I enjoyed the journey. Thank you so much for coming through all the time. I'll see you again tomorrow. And like I said to you on Friday, we're going to cook together. And Mazondo first, because we are actually in honor of men. So we're going to go on a Mazondo. By the way, and then women are going to choose a meal. We're going to have fun, guys. Let's enjoy life. Life is to be enjoyed, not endured. I want to say to you, I love you so much. And God bless you all. And may God bless Zimbabwe. See you tomorrow. And I love you. Bye for now.